My husband always said he was just helping out his friend from work, a single mom. I never questioned it, until my daughter told me she saw them kissing in the school parking lot. I laughed it off. Maybe she's confused. Then I checked his location history. It wasn't just one school. It was hotels, apartments, coffee shops. I printed out 56 pages of maps and timestamps. At his birthday dinner, right after he blew out the candles, I handed him the stack and said, "Now make a wish." I thought I had a solid marriage. I really did. We weren't perfect, but we had history. A house. A kid. Shared bills and late-night arguments about the thermostat. The normal stuff. So when my husband, Derek, told me he was just helping out a single mom from work, someone named Tanya, I didn't think much of it. He said she was struggling, no family around, trying to raise her son by herself. He's got a soft spot for single moms because his own mom raised him alone. Or so he says. He mentioned her here and there. Tanya's car broke down again. Or Tanya's kid has the flu and she can't get off work. Stuff like that. I listened. I didn't ask questions. That's the kind of wife I was, trusting. Then one day, my daughter dropped a bomb. We were at the table, just me and her. Derek was at work, supposedly staying late to help Tanya with something. My daughter's in first grade. Sweet. Still has trouble tying her shoes. And out of nowhere, she says, "I saw Daddy kissing a lady at school." I paused, spoon halfway to my mouth. "What do you mean?" I asked her. It was after school. They were in the parking lot. He kissed her on the mouth. She had red hair. Tanya has red hair. I knew that much. I laughed. Nervous, awkward. "Maybe you were confused, honey." She shrugged and went back to eating. Like it was nothing. Like it didn't just drive a knife into my stomach. That night, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling while he snored next to me. In the morning, while he was in the shower, I did something I never thought I'd do. I opened his phone. He had no lock on it. Never needed one. Or so I thought. I didn't find messages. Nothing obvious. But I remembered hearing that you can check someone's location history if they've got their Google account synced. So I looked. And what I found made me feel sick. Not just our daughter's school. Hotels. Coffee shops. Random apartment complexes. Over and over again. Same places, different times. Early mornings. Late nights. Weekends when he said he was going grocery shopping. Tuesday afternoons when he had meetings. I went back 6 months and downloaded everything. It took hours. I printed it all out. Page after page. Each page had a date, time, map, and location pin. I highlighted the repeat locations. Labeled them. Hotels. Tanya's Street. Coffee shops nowhere near his job. It was 56 pages. His birthday was that weekend. I still played along. Invited a few people. Got him a cake. He blew out the candles, all smiles. Then I handed him the stack. "Now make a wish," I said. He looked confused, then started flipping through. His face changed fast. Pale. Silent. He looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. Our daughter was sitting nearby, coloring. That was the moment everything changed. He didn't say a word for the rest of the dinner. After everyone left, he tried to talk to me in the kitchen. "Where did you get this?" he asked, voice low. I just stared at him. "Google," I said. "You forgot to turn off your location tracking. Maybe you should have wished for that." He sat down at the table and rubbed his face. "It's not what you think." I laughed once. Just one dry laugh. "You think I printed out 56 pages of maps because I kind of think something's going on?" He didn't answer. He packed a bag and left that night. I didn't ask where he was going. I already knew. But that wasn't the end. A few days later, I checked our bank account. Thousands of dollars gone over the past year. Gas stations nowhere near his work. Hotel charges. Grocery stores I've never heard of. He was using our money to take care of her. I froze the account. I called a lawyer. Then one morning, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I answered, thinking it might be Derek or maybe the bank. It was her. "Tanya." "I didn't know he was married," she said. I stayed quiet. I found her number through the school, she continued.
I'm sorry.
I really didn't know. I almost hung up, but something in her voice made me stop. She didn't sound smug or defensive. She sounded scared. Can we talk? She asked. So I agreed to meet her. We sat outside a small diner in Eugene, Oregon, 2 blocks from my house. She looked rough, dark circles under her eyes, hair in a messy bun. She pulled out her phone and showed me messages. He told her he was divorced, that I'd taken our daughter and left him, that he was trying to rebuild his life. She showed me pictures he'd sent her, of him alone at the park, selfies in the car, long rants about how he was the victim. He never told her my name. She didn't even know he had a daughter who still lived with him. Wait, I said. So when my kid saw you two in the school parking lot, her face turned pale. She said that? She saw us.
Yeah.
Tanya put her hands over her face. Jesus Christ. I thought he was picking up his niece. That's what he told me. Turns out Derek told everyone different stories. To Tanya, he was a wounded single dad. To me, he was the hero helping out a struggling coworker. To our daughter, he was just daddy. It all made sense now. The late nights, the missing money, the lies. We sat there for a while, not saying much. Just 2 women who'd been used. Before we left, Tanya looked at me and said, "If there's anything I can do to help you, I will." I didn't answer right away, but an idea was forming. I didn't want Tanya's help at first. I didn't trust her. Even if she didn't know he was married, she still kissed my husband in a school parking lot. That image wouldn't leave my head. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized she wasn't my enemy.
He was.
And if I wanted to really take him down, I'd need someone who knew his moves. Tanya knew more than I did about the lies he'd told. She knew where he went, what he said, how he covered his tracks. So I called her a week later. "We're going to bury him," I said. And we started planning. First, Tanya kept texting him like normal, playing dumb, pretending she still believed him. Meanwhile, I was gathering more data, bank statements, emails, credit card charges. I was building a full case. Then we did something bold. Tanya invited him to her place for dinner. He accepted. She wore a mic. I stayed in my car down the street, recording the feed through my phone. We got everything, him talking about that crazy ex, me, saying he'd take care of the divorce, telling her he was almost done with the custody battle. He had no idea I was already 2 steps ahead with a lawyer and that there was no custody battle. He was still living in a fantasy where he could have both women lying to each other forever. Then Tanya dropped a question I told her to ask. "So, who's been paying for all the hotels?"
He paused.
Then laughed. "Don't worry about it.
Just a joint account I have."
She won't notice. That was it. I had it all. Audio, paper trail, a list of names of places he took her. Even a couple of security camera stills from a hotel that showed him and Tanya walking in together. I gave it all to my lawyer. Then came the next twist. One night I was putting my daughter to bed and she said, "Daddy told me not to tell you things." I froze. "What do you mean, baby?" He said if I told you about Tanya, it would make you sad, and then you'd leave like other moms. Other moms? What do you mean, other moms? She shrugged. "Like the lady," he said, "he used to live with before you." It hit me then. Tanya wasn't the first. I didn't have proof yet, but I had a new mission. I stayed up most of that night, staring at the ceiling. My daughter's words kept replaying in my head. Other moms. What did he mean, other moms? Was he lying about his life before me too? The next morning, I called Tanya again. I asked her if Derek had ever talked about exes. She said, yeah, he mentioned one. A woman named Jill. Said she left him and took his kid. But that wasn't true. I had his only kid. And I sure as hell never heard of anyone named Jill. I did a public records search. A few hours of digging, and I found her. Jill Morgan. Lived 2 towns over in Springfield. Mid-30s. Single mother. Had a boy around the same age as our daughter. Guess what? Last known address was an apartment Derek had been visiting, according to the location logs I'd printed. She moved out about a year ago. I tracked her down on Facebook. She hadn't posted much lately, but her profile pic was a selfie of her with a little boy. He looked exactly like Derek. My stomach dropped. I sent her a message. Told her I was Derek's wife. Said I had some questions. She responded within the hour. I thought he was divorced, she wrote. We were together for 3 years. 3
Years. She didn't know about me.
Or Tanya. And yes, her son was his. She showed me pictures. Birth certificate.
He even signed it.
He had a whole other family while he was with me. Suddenly, so many things made sense. His weird absences. Why he was so protective over his phone for a few months last year. Why he suddenly had to help a friend so often. Jill said she left him because he became controlling. Would disappear, and then come back with excuses. She started thinking he was seeing someone else. Turns out he was seeing me. He played her, then played me. Then he started the same game with Tanya. I met Jill in person a week later. We sat in a diner, different one this time. I brought Tanya with me. We laid it all out. Everything we knew. Every receipt. Every timeline. He was cycling through women like it was a damn schedule. He used his sad single dad story to trap each one. We made a plan. We didn't go to the police. We weren't dealing with crimes, not the kind they'd care about. But we weren't powerless either. Me, Tanya, and Jill, 3 women, 3 different lies, 1 man who thought he was untouchable. We decided to end it together. Tanya set the trap. She invited him to her apartment again. Told him she wanted to talk about the future. He showed up with flowers. I guess he thought she was going to forgive him, that he could charm his way out like always. But when he walked in, it wasn't just Tanya. Jill was there. And me. He froze in the doorway. Looked around, confused.
Scared.
He tried to laugh it off. What's this? He said. Some kind of intervention? No, I said. It's your funeral. Tanya pulled out a manila envelope. Inside, printed screenshots of messages, copies of hotel receipts, financial records, child support papers he never paid for Jill's son, and a USB with the recording from their last dinner. She dropped it in his lap. Then I handed him my own envelope, divorce papers. Everything filed. Everything notarized. And a formal request for full custody. I'll fight this, he said, sweating. You'll try, I said. Jill leaned in next. I already filed for back child support, she said. My lawyer's expecting your pay stubs. We're coming for everything. Derek started to panic. You're ruining my life. Tanya rolled her eyes. You ruined your own life. We left him there, slumped on the couch with the weight of his lies finally sitting where they belonged, on him.
But it didn't end with that.
2 weeks later, I sent all the documents to his employer. Turns out Derek wasn't just lying to us. He was falsifying expense reports, saying his hotel visits were conferences, using the company card. He was fired, quietly but quickly, and word spread fast. His name was Dirt. After that, Jill got her court-ordered payments. I got full custody, no visitation for now. Tanya moved to Seattle. Said she wanted a fresh start. We still talk. And me? I rebuilt. It wasn't easy. I wasn't perfect. I should have looked closer. I should have asked more questions years ago. I stayed blind for too long because it was easier to believe in the version of him I married. That's on me. But I fixed it. I made sure he'd never forget what he did. And every time I pass a hotel, I smile a little. Because somewhere out there, Derek's alone. No wife. No girlfriend. No kid. Just 56 pages of proof that he blew up his whole life with his own lies. Happy birthday. I still whisper sometimes when I think about that dinner. Make a wish, asshole. See how that worked out for you.